Welcome. So happy to be here with you. I am Sally Shaywitz, MD, a developmental pediatrician who is the Audrey G. Ratner Professor in Learning Development at Yale Medical School and co-founder and co-director of the Yale Center for Dyslexia and Creativity. I am devoted, both as a scientist carrying out cutting-edge scientific studies to increase our understanding of dyslexia, and as a deeply caring physician to ensuring that individuals who are dyslexic, their parents and teachers, receive all this wonderful new scientific information so that they can act on it to benefit dyslexic children and adults. I am the principal investigator of the Connecticut Longitudinal Study, referred to as the CLS, which has for 39 years continuously followed a random sample of 445 boys and girls from kindergarten entry at age 5 years to mature adulthood, currently age 45. This study has provided the data for much of our contemporary scientific knowledge of dyslexia, including its prevalence, 20%, or 1 in 5. The fact that dyslexia occurs equally in boys and girls, and also that dyslexia is unexpected for a person's intelligence. That is to say, the two are not linked. The scientific validation of the unexpected nature of dyslexia has led to the new, updated definition of dyslexia, codified in Federal Law, Public Law 115-391, as, quote, an unexpected difficulty in reading for an individual who has the intelligence to be a much better reader. Furthermore, data from the CLS have shown that the achievement gap between typical and dyslexic readers occurs as early as first grade and persists if no intervention is put in place. I want to repeat that. Occurs as early as first grade and persists if no intervention is put in place. This finding provided us the impetus to develop a new instrument, the evidence-based Shaywitz Dyslexia Screen, published by Pearson, for use by teachers to efficiently and reliably screen kindergartners, first, second, and third graders for dyslexia. A version of this evidence-based screener is also available for adults. I discuss all of these things in much more detail in subsequent lectures. With so much misunderstanding of dyslexia, especially the incorrect and harmful mistaking of slow reading for slow thinking, Dr. Bennett Shaywitz and I developed the Sea of Strengths conceptual model of dyslexia. The Sea of Strengths model conceptualizes dyslexia as a circumscribed weakness in connecting letters to sounds, surrounded by a sea of strengths in higher order cognitive processes, including reasoning, big picture thinking, thinking out of the box, problem solving, empathy, and concept formation. I'll be getting into all of that soon. I am also the author of over 250 scientific papers and chapters about the 21st century understanding of dyslexia, as well as the go-to book on dyslexia, Overcoming Dyslexia, second edition, written with highly regarded and exceptionally caring psychiatrist, Dr. Jonathan Shaywitz, whom you'll also be hearing from later on in the course in his guest lectures on anxiety and ADHD. This edition is brimming with easy-to-access, updated scientific and clinical information on dyslexia. The course you're about to take is largely based on this book, and while it's not required, I highly encourage those of you who might want to go into more detail than is possible in these relatively brief lectures to obtain a copy of the book or find it in your local library. It should be there. It includes additional advice and strategy for advocating for yourself or your dyslexic child, including through college and into the workplace, and in additional resources and advice that we couldn't include in the Coursera course. My book has inspiring stories of men and women who are dyslexic and who share how they rose to the top of their professions. In this course, I have included excerpts from interviews I conducted with many of these incredible guests, each of whom have dealt with dyslexia in their lives and have largely learned to overcome it and thrive. These interviews are success stories meant to inspire, destigmatize, encourage, and advise the learnership of this course. For those of you out there with dyslexia, or if you have a child with dyslexia, watch these interviews and rest assured that you can rise as high as you desire and achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. As you'll hear, it takes some hard work and strategy, but your dyslexia does not bar you from many of life's best dreams. I am excited to be sharing these with you and know you'll enjoy the guests we have in store. Now, back to me. I have been honored to receive a number of awards, including election to the National Academy of Medicine within the National Academies. Here I will share with you some of my more recent awards. The 2021 Honorary CDC Health Literacy Hero Award from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, along with Dr. Bennett Shaywitz, the Liberty Science Center 2019 Genius Award, quote, in recognition of your inspiring accomplishments and your groundbreaking work in advancing our understanding of dyslexia. A 2018 profile in the Scientist at Work section of the New York Times. Featured speaker at the Google X conference on the future of reading and at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. And a lead story on CBS Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley, and was honored to serve on the National Reading Panel. Over the last several decades, I have testified before the U.S. Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, referred to as the HELP Committee, and before the U.S. House Committee on Science, Space, and Technology on the topic of dyslexia, an explanation and potential solution to the reading crisis in education. Most recently, in July 2022, I was honored to present a keynote address to the Congressional Dyslexia Roundtable. In my testimonies, I emphasize that while we are always seeking new knowledge in the case of dyslexia, we have sufficient knowledge to do better, rather than a knowledge gap in dyslexia. There is an action gap. And now it is my pleasure to welcome you to the course.